Brian Flores took a different approach than many of us have seen before. Very reminiscent of Roger Staubach.
Yeah, so we can compare a rookie QB to a toddler.
So that's why I have the Mavs winning in 7, and then Luka's just going to be Luka.
Hayward's absence for this game will be significant, and I wouldn't be surprised if this game turns into a blowout as of late.
The Golden Knights just can't pull it. I really think the Avalanche are determined this year.
They made so many moves and grabbed so many guys that they have to win a championship or at least make the finals. They were on our championship and bust.
Dallas has just been on a tear. I believe we can attribute that to Jason Robertson. Also, Jake Ottinger, who's really stepped in.
Kaprizov and the rest of this crew. Jordan Greenway, who doesn't get enough props. He definitely is somebody who needs to be mentioned more. I definitely think this is going to be a great series, and I'm interested to see how much Kaprizov can impact the game as a rookie.
Yeah, and as a Cowboys fan, I have learned how dangerously good Aaron Rodgers has been with he can just thread a pass.
Is the Avalanche versus the Blues. I believe the Blues are starting to play some of their best hockey all year, so they can push this to 6 games.
If Leiter's there, I'm happy with Leiter because I think he fits into what you were saying about a much quicker thing. But if Leiter's not there, which is seeming so, I say Jordan Lawler at number 2.
The same self. The only year he won an MVP was the year he cheated, which really should put something against that MVP. But
there will be a Rodgers playing for Green Bay, even though he may not be the quarterback. But it's still unknown there. Austin is giving me the dead stare, so I guess don't mention Aaron Rodgers to him right now.
A top 3 corner in the league in Jair Alexander, and pairing him with a really fast corner should definitely assist in their ability to guard anybody in their division and anybody in the league.
Hello, I am Ruby Ackerman, and you are listening to Outsider's Opinion with Kevin and Austin.
What's up, y'all? Welcome to our NBA Opinions of the Week for December 5th. Austin, let's just talk about Steph Curry. The more I watch basketball and the more I get, the more research and stuff I do, the more I just appreciate Steph Curry. And it's just incredible to see, the ridiculous stat is Curry is about 9 3-pointers away from tying Ray Allen's 3-point record of made 3-pointers, as Allen made 2,973 threes. The thing that just amazes me with Curry is Allen scored that many threes in 1,300 games. Through 786 games, Curry is 9 away. And, of course, we shoot so many threes, but that's mostly because of Curry, and you can put Klay Thompson in just that Warrior squad, but Curry has changed the NBA with, threes. And then you can talk about Steve Kerr, who holds a record with his career mark of 45.4%, is the best in NBA history. But Kerr never made more than 5 threes in a game, and he never even attempted more than 8. And just in the Trailblazers game, Curry attempted 17 because it said he went 6 for 17 from deep. So I'm guessing that's all 3-pointers, right, Austin?
Yeah.
That's just, it's ridiculous. And so what are your thoughts on this?
Greatest 3-point shooter of all time. Now, if we're talking set shooter, you know me. I'm going to say Kyle Korver. But when we say Steve Kerr, I honestly don't think he should be said in the same breath as Kyle Korver, Klay Thompson, obviously Curry, and other guys like that, because he never really took that many shots, as you mentioned, and they weren't really guarding the 3-ball as they have been in the last decade. The 3-ball in the last decade has been improved greatly by Ray Allen. The three catalysts in my mind are Ray Allen, Curry, and Kyle Korver. There are 3 guys that if they are open, there's about a 90% chance they make it. And while Curry can do all his, and what Curry did is he furthered it by showing that he could make shots off the dribble. That's what changed everything. That's why we see so many threes now by guards, point guards and stuff, because they always have the ball. off the dribble threes were never really a common thing to happen because they are like, oh, you need a pass, or at least you need to set your feet. And it's hard to go to a dribble and then set your feet unless you broke somebody's ankles or something like that. But yeah, Curry, he's changed the game definitely. Uh, one top 10 player in the NBA right now. Some people say that he's top 10 all time. I wouldn't go that far. I'd say he's at least top 15. I'm okay with that. And what he's done to the game, what he's changed, what he's contributed, uh, it's something. It's. I'm not gonna say it's Tom Brady esque because I don't think Curry's gonna get in conversation for GOAT status, but you just have to appreciate it while it's here. We're never gonna see another Curry on this level. We could see someone make the same amount of threes. We could see someone make more threes. We could see someone make more threes and at a higher clip. But Curry shooting the half court shots and making them. Curry with all his dribble moves, uh, and also how he plays the game. It's just fun to watch, and I'm definitely gonna appreciate it for as long as he decides to play. And I hope it's a long time.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the half court shots because he's a legitimate threat. Like when teams have definitely dealt with this, when Curry is hot, do you start guarding him like 3/4, like the quarter in your court of when he receives the ball? Am I explaining that right? At
3/4
like
court.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
I
do
mean,
you
you
pick
have
him
to
up?
start.
You can't pick him up at half, at the half point because he could just drill three there when
Well,
he's
I
hot.
mean, I would pick him up off dribble, like right when he passes in the ball to him. Yeah, I had my best defender on Curry, but it's impossible to guard him uh, entirely. When he's hot, you can slow him down only so much because he needs no space at all. And man, it's so fun watching him play. And while I was never rooting for the Warriors until the 2019 NBA Finals, I really did enjoy watching those matchups with the Cavs, and he's a special player. And I mean, his brother can shoot lights out too. He just can't shoot like
Of course you make
him.
that. Of course you do that. Just had to get your my team shot. Well, I can get you back, but it's not baseball. It's a baseball reference because the Rangers now have a better shortstop than the Yankees and a
Yeah,
better second
but
baseman.
I
If you have Torres at second,
oh, you're right.
you do have definitely have like the better, more complete third baseman. I know we're getting off track, but Austin started this with the Seth Curry thing, Seth Curry reference.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see, we'll see. We'll make that judgment halfway through the year. We'll come back to this.
And my second baseman can also play a great shortstop, unlike your second baseman. But I definitely agree. I rooted against the Warriors because I think there comes a point in a person's life when they think LeBron is amazing and then they get out of that phase, especially when you're a Mavericks fan and you learn of all the things that LeBron has done, especially but 2011 is amazing. So we have that. Did you see like 11 years ago today is that clip is the iconic picture with Dwayne Wade and LeBron?
It is the dunk.
The dunk, and then everyone on Mavs Twitter who Mark Cuban hates was like, "How did that turn out?"
Well, I mean, that game they won
Well,
by like
no, they're talking about
100,
like
but
the season.
yeah.
So, but it's just amazing seeing Curry, and he can also like last year we saw him like he can handle the ball, but he can also give it up, and he's still a threat because there will be motions, and he'll get it and put up a three, and it's ridiculous. So it's not just one way. Like he can play off ball really well, and as in some players that play off ball, they don't do well, even if
The
they.
key to being a very good off-ball player is movement. If you watch a Kyle Korver possession, one where he scores, and we're gonna have to do this eventually. I'm gonna have to show you this video, or just a video of Kyle Korver doing what he does best. He's running and moving until he's wide open, and then he stops moving because he's wide open. But he is moving the entire possession because movement is the key to breaking a defense. And Curry, when he is off ball, excels at movement. He never stops moving. He is a very big uh, energy reserve, and he can do it the entire game. And that's really what makes him so great is he can get open no matter when he needs to get open or how he needs to get open or it just he knows how to read a defense and it's exceptional to watch. And it's very hard to guard him in man coverage anyway, so
Yeah. And now, do you think, talking about like early MVP, Steph Curry has the highest betting odds for 2021 to 2022. It's a plus 135. Then you have KD, Giannis, Jokic, and Luca.
Luka that high? Wow.
Yeah, I know. I'm surprised Luca's that high. But I think Curry is the front runner, and there is an argument for um, Kevin Durant. Um,
I
not
if
sure
I
about
had to
Giannis.
choose I if I had to choose right now, I would most likely choose Jokic just because of what he means to the Nuggets. He has the highest win shares in the league by a large margin, and he can do everything on the court. His there's nothing he can't do, at least well, not great, but what he means to that team is, especially with all the injuries they're dealing with, I think he'd be my MVP right now because it's most valuable player, and that's to a team. So I think even though the Warriors, I don't think they could survive without Curry. The Nuggets without Jokic would probably be the worst team in the NBA.
That is a good argument. The Nuggets right now are the A seed. I think I'm going to lend to Curry because he is the most valuable player to the Warriors, and they're also the 1 seed. While with Jokic, he is he like you made an excellent point, but he is the A seed right now. So I
But
think
the
seeding comes into a little bit of play
I
when they're the
I
A seed.
disagree because of the injuries that the Nuggets have been dealt with. If Jamal Murray was here and Jokic was still and they weren't winning, I would understand. But I think Jokic is winning all he possibly can with this lineup, especially with MPJ out. Uh, Will Barton has missed some time, even though he's back healthy now. Uh, Obviously, Murray's been out for an extended period of time, and it's just hard on the team because those are big impact guys. And also Jokic, again, it's when I see most valuable player, I mean most valuable. Well, when I see most valuable player, what I would use to determine that is who's the player that means the most to a team, not the highest rated team, but a team. Like where would their wins and losses be if they were not on the team? And I think Jokic epitomizes worth, especially on that scale.
So where do you think the Warriors don't have Curry? Where do you think they rank?
Worse than the Nuggets without Jokic. No, no,
So,
no.
well,
Vice
okay,
versa. I said that wrong.
yeah,
The Nuggets
Jokic.
would be lower because they're out everybody. If Jokic was out, I don't know if they win a game. Like they don't have any goal scorers. I mean goal scorers. They don't have any point scorers. They have no one who can score when Jokic is out. They
Yeah,
have Will Barton, but he can't create for himself.
I
They're
agree with you. I agree with your points. You're making good points. It's just I defer to Curry because I think there's no way. Like I think without Curry, the Warriors are the 7th seed.
I
Even like they have great players around him, but I think Curry just elevates him that high, which kind of puts him as my MVP.
It's really close. This could go either way. I would not probably say KD because KD has a lot of talent around him. I don't know if without KD. I think the Nets are still easily a playoff team.
I see that. I don't. I think they're in like the bottom four instead of the top four because Harden's finicky and they don't have Kyrie. But I do agree they would be a playoff team, but just not where they are. But they wouldn't be as worse off without KD, like the Nuggets would be without Jokic, and like the Warriors would be without Curry.
Yeah, and a big part of Jokic and Curry is they're both the heart and soul of the team. Like the team beats with them. They all their energy comes from those players. Even though Draymond is like a catalyst for the team, when Curry gets hot, the confidence level is very high. Even if they lose the game, they had very high confidence in it because their leader is playing very well. And I feel like that's true for most teams out there that are not one player heavy, but like that their best player is obviously a certain person.
And then you and I both agreed that Luca's pretty high in the MVP odds I'm looking at. It's just Luca hasn't. he's dealing with injuries. I wish the Mavs would just sit him because it's not worth it.
He doesn't look 100%. When I
Yeah,
watched the Nets game, he just didn't look right.
his left, like, that ankle is a serious injury, and there's knee with it too. Just rest him. But if you rest him, the Mavs are going to be like the worst team in the league, or the worst team in the West. Like,
And
they fall.
The West has been worse than the East this year.
Yeah, and Mavs ownership and coaching don't want to do that. Which I just put him, like, get him healthy, because there's no
His
way
career
you're
is way too important.
competitive. I don't think it's threatening career. I think it's threatening this season. Like, he does deal with ankle issues, but just sit him and let him rest. Stop trying to push it and tell him relax. But it's just annoying.
Ankle issues can become common, especially with guys of his size. He's not massive for NBA scale, but when you're 6'7", 6'8", you're putting a lot of weight on those ankles, and you have to be ready to go when you're ready to go. You can't have be tentative about it, and it's going to be really hard for him not to when he's having constant pain. I think that they should sit him till the All Star break. That's what I would do.
I sit him till, like, everything is completely 100%, and then he can, and then maybe
But the thing
here.
is it's easy to re-aggravate injuries like those. You just feel like you're 100% and then turn your ankle one time and you're back at square one. So I would sit him out until I agree until he feels good, and then
And
a
then you
week or
make
two.
sure it's, like, totally great. Like he can roll it and he'll feel nothing. Like, don't have him just fighting through pain.
But the thing is I would bring the issue is too is that in playoff scenarios I want players to play through injury. We see it in hockey so often, but it's much more rare in other sports. Where players are just, oh, I have a broken ankle and I'm playing. It just makes no physical sense, but they are. They just decide, and I'm gonna play because this is it's life or death, and I live with that. I
Yeah,
when you get
playoffs
to
make
playoffs,
sense.
yeah, you
Playoffs
have to
make
be
sense.
playing.
Like,
You
totally.
can't.
Yeah, we agree. Like, you have to, like, it's live or die in playoffs. But regular season, especially now with the play-in, you can be a 10th seed, and if you get hot, you can make it into the playoffs.
Yeah,
So that's just my thing. And speaking of Mavs, or former Mavs, we have the Pacers, and their head coach Rick Carlisle is out, but the Pacers are thinking about going into a rebuild, and they've listed Karis LeVert, Demonte Sabonis, and Miles Turner. I don't think they trade Sabonis unless they get a huge ransom, but I think Turner makes sense because him and Sabonis basically play the same position, right?
sort of. Sabonis is more of a power forward, but Sabonis can play center. The
So,
real issue is that Miles Turner has not, whether it's because of people not playing or coaches not playing him like they should, or him just not growing as a player. He's not really improved all that much, or at least stats wise and eye test wise. He just doesn't look like he's gotten much uh, better.
and I think the same thing is Karis LeVert and Malcolm Brogdon basically play both guards. So, and Karis LeVert has dealt with issues. So I see more likely happening a Miles Turner trade and maybe a Karis LeVert trade somewhere else. But definitely Miles Turner, I think, will definitely be traded before the end of the trade deadline. Do you agree with that?
Turner's the only one that I'm confident will get traded. I would be very surprised. All the others, I wouldn't. I would be surprised if they traded them, even Karis LeVert. But if they, I would be surprised if they didn't trade um, Miles Turner.
And I'm looking at Miles Turner, and you said not growing as a player. He currently has a cap hit of 18 million, and he has one more year, and then he's an unrestricted free agent in 2023. But he's 25. That's still young, and of course, I would love, because he is a Dallas native, Miles Turner on the Mavs, and maybe it's just like a big Mavs scheme to have Rick Carlisle there, and he can go, okay, let's go trade him to Dallas for, like, Dwight Powell, Willie Cauley Stein, Trey Burke. other players as well.
There would have to be a draft pick in there too because
Well, yeah,
you can't just trade them all bums. I don't know if you
yeah. I'm
call them
hoping.
bums, but
I'm hoping, but I don't know. I Something needs to happen with this Mavs team because it is. I think it's questionable that they make the playoffs. I don't think they win a series, even if they make the playoffs.
I predicted them to make the playoffs. But I also
No,
predicted
yeah,
them to get the 6th seed. So
they're at the 16 now. My like 3 seed theory is totally out the window. My MVP pick Luca is out the window.
unless
So
he just, it would take something very special for him to win
it would
MVP
have to have like Curry like fall off, Kevin Durant fall off,
or
and then
Kyrie
Luca
come back.
or yeah, or and then Luca just going off, which I don't see happening. So that's some ideas, but like the better Dallas team right now, as the Mavs are like, I think now they're 9-11. They're like
No, 9-11. They're like I think
nine
they're
out of 11 in like the past 11 games,
oh.
or they've won 3 games. It's been bad, but the other teams, the Houston Rockets, who currently have a hot streak of 7 games starting after having like a 14-game losing streak. It's the first time ever that a team
17 game losing streak.
really
I
okay.
think it was
Wow,
17. It was some outstanding number that was ugly to look at.
it's the first time happening like ever in the history of any sports league. Like they did ABA, MLB, NFL, NHL. Like nothing like this had ever happened before.
Yeah, where they go on a terrible losing streak and then a big winning streak.
Yeah, and that is a former coach, Steven Silas. And I think you were the person. I agreed with you. The Rockets had a really good draft
Oh yeah,
because how many picks did they have? Like
a
4?
lot, a good bit.
Let me look that up while you talk about it.
Yeah, but Jalen. The weird part is Jalen Green has been out for this entire 7 game stretch, or at least most of it, I believe. I think the entire stretch. I don't know for sure though.
He was out for most of it.
I know he was out for at least most of it, but I don't know if he was out for all 7 games.
I
I'm
think
pretty
he
sure he
came
was
back.
though, and they beat the Nets in the last game. They played well. They have really coalesced as a team, and Christian Wood and crew have really played some inspired basketball, which is good to see, considering that most people don't believe that they're going to have any chance of making the playoffs.
And the Rockets also have Christian Wood, who they moved to center, but that moved Daniel Theis. So because Christian Wood they realized was better at center, or they played better when they had just Christian Wood as the only big on the floor, and that seems like a nice signing. And the Rockets did acquire 4 players in the 2021 draft. We've talked about Jalen Green,
Sengun,
Sengun, Garuba, and then Christopher.
Josh Christopher,
Yeah,
yeah,
who played for Arizona State. And they will be they were they were 19 at the start of the 2021 to 22 NBA season. So it's a very young group. So they do look well. I think Eric Gordon has been playing well. Christian Wood, as I mentioned. So that's good for the Rockets, I guess, since you were forced to trade James Harden last season and you've rebounded well off that. And I felt bad for Steven Silas when he was inheriting just that mess with James Harden. And of course, I think John Wall is injured or they're just
and
not
no,
playing him.
they're just choosing not to play him right now
So,
because he
but
wants to be traded to a team that's, or no, he wants to be released. That's right, he wants to be bought out. That was the whole thing.
wouldn't be like the most shocking thing because the Thunder bought out Kemba like at the start of the season.
Yeah.
But it's just good to see Steven Silas doing well with the Rockets because I hope it's hard when a coach inherits a bad team. Like they'll always be tied to that team in future jobs if it doesn't work out. Any other thoughts?
No, that's all I got.
All right. Well, that concludes our NBA opinions of the week for December 5th. Thank you for listening to Outsiders Opinions.